We have an East Indian presidential candidate and we have a Caucasian presidential candidate. The American African community is in the process of deciding if they should vote for the East Indian presidential candidate or the Caucasian presidential candidate.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Dig Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Serious music! A lot of brothers do not like Dr. Umar Johnson simply because he's known as a scammer, a panderer, and a person that's very delusional. But the one thing I like about Dr. Umar Johnson, me being a pro-black, is when it comes to the black politics and certain things going on with the black struggle, he's almost always on point. And he is not a person that grifts from his position when it comes to black people. Whether he lives that through his lifestyle or not is not the question, but he's a strong academic and a strong proponent for the African American community as well as all the black community, and he really speaks what's on his heart. So when Kamala Harris ran for president, he was not one of these people who decided to start grifting for the DNC. In fact, Dr. Umar Johnson did exactly the opposite by challenging the positions of Kamala Harris. Now again, we play a lot of identity politics in the black community, and most black voters do so. We see rappers like Plies, Slim Thug, and many others want to identify with somebody such as Kamala Harris because they're black or they come from black or African origin. However, when it comes to the policies, we don't know what the person typically stands for. And sometimes they can flat out tell you that they don't stand for reparations, or they're not for black people, or they're for everyone. These are key indicators that they don't want to do anything for you. So when Dr. Umar Johnson addressed the Kamala Harris issue early on, he put it in these terms.
And once again, we're still playing identity politics. Vote for Kamala Harris. First of all, I don't believe she's of African descent. I don't, based on everything that I saw. Even if she is, that's not the issue. The issue is policy. Joe Biden was a Caucasian. Bill Clinton was a Caucasian. You understand? Donald Trump is a Caucasian. The only reason why black people are paying so much attention to Kamala Harris's race is because the Democratic Party plantation slave drivers, the D.L. Hughley's and Steve Harvey's and Roland Martins of the world, they're telling black people you have to vote because she's black. If they didn't make it about race and if they made it about policy, nobody would be investigating her heritage. You see Candace Owens going all in on where she's from. That wouldn't even be happening if she focused on policy. What are you going to do for black people? Sell us that instead of selling us your heritage. If she would have led with the policy, her race would have never became an issue.
Dr. Umar Johnson was straight to the point there. Listen, we have somebody that's black and no different than somebody that's white. And, she doesn't have any policy that fits the African American community or that fits black people. So it doesn't matter if this person is really black or half black and Indian or whatever the reality is, she has no intention on delivering for the community, which is what a lot of black voters understood even when she ran in 2020 and said that, hey, she was not trying to basically give any reparations to brothers and sisters, but he nailed it spot on. Kamala Harris is no different than Bill Clinton, is no different than Joe Biden, is no different than Obama, okay? They don't have anything for the African American community, and she never addressed it, and we never heard it in any of her policies at all. But remember, Kamala Harris's campaign raised over $1 billion, and they wanted to really spend that money with influential people in the black community. And they wanted to get those influencers to help sway the vote for Kamala Harris. Remember, they were desperate because Joe Biden had just dropped out of the race and Kamala Harris didn't have that much time. So one of the people that they wanted to interview was Dr. Umar Johnson.
And then remember, I got invited to do the interview with her. They wanted to pay me $15K for Kamala Harris a couple months ago. So remember, some people were saying, well, did he make that up? I didn't make it up. They texted me and said we wanted to pay, and they was after me for a while. And I said, listen, it got to be live. They wanted an interview, but I wanted it live. You're not going to pre-record it and splice it because I know how y'all crackers move. So I said, live interview, straight to the people. I don't want your money. I ain't for sale. I think they wanted to test to see if I was a money-hungry Negro. And I said, nah, let's do it. And they never called me back because they wasn't going to let her answer my questions live because she wouldn't have any answers. And I'm going to tell you this. This is what black people not paying attention to. If Kamala Harris wins, we really going to catch hell. You know why? She going to make us pay for everybody who exposed the fact that she was never black. Do you feel me? She has a grudge and an axe to grind. Black people ain't getting if Kamala Harris get elected. You weren't going to get it anyway. Stay with me. Yeah. But it was a neutral neglect. You feel me? That would have been thank you. It would have been a benign neglect. Now it's a spiteful neglect. I'm going to get you ninjas back for exposing the fact that I was never black. Black people ain't going to get nothing.
But again, Dr. Umar Johnson, just like Joe Rogan, would have given Kamala Harris more than what she could chew. So she declined to even do it live. She wanted to be pre-recorded so they can edit it. He didn't want to do that. So he lost out on the opportunity of $15,000. And I actually believe that he's not lying about this. He actually showed it in a text message. And again, you know, remember, most of Dr. Umar Johnson's fans are black women, and most of Kamala Harris's fans are black women. So both of these people have the same fan base. But then, as you know, Donald Trump wins the election. Dr. Umar Johnson decided to address this head on.
Peace and Pan-Africanism. And by no means am I intending to beat a dead horse. Peace and Pan-Africanism. And by no means am I intending to beat a dead horse. But my Democratic Party plantation slaves, I'm having a little bit of a problem with the fact that y'all crying over Kamala Harris, but y'all not crying over that $30 million that the Divine Nine gave her in one night to pay for campaign ads and commercials. If you're gonna cry, don't cry because a white racist political party lost the election. You should be crying because the Black Greeks gave Kamala $30 million in one night that the black community can never get back. That the black community can never get back. That the black community can never get back. Why don't you cry about the $30 billion black women in particular, but black men as well, spend on beauty and hair products? Why don't we cry about all these black girls who are being sexually trafficked in this country? Why aren't we crying about all the homeless black women with children living on the street? Why aren't we crying about all the young black men who are losing their lives to senseless violence? Are we crying like this for these lynching victims? Are we crying like this for these police genocide victims? But you crying for Kamala Harris? But you not crying for the $30 million the Divine Nine gave her to pay for useless commercials and ads? The money from which she's never getting back. Can we please stop the nonsense? Can we please get organized? Black queens forever, snow bunnies never, Pan-Africanism or perish. I'm the new leader of Black America. You either with me or you against me. The agenda is coming soon, 2025, Team Pan-African, King Kong consciousness. You either with us or you against us.
So, I mean, I'm listening to what he's saying, and it does make a lot of sense, right? But here's the issue. Dr. Umar Johnson got obliterated in the comment section by these same sisters. Now, I want to tell you this. When Dr. Umar Johnson is talking about black men and what black men need to do, you don't see these women having issues, do you? They're right there with them. But once he said that and talked about all the money that is spent on weaves and supporting Kamala Harris and what's wrong with y'all, oh, they didn't want to hear that. They came after Dr. Umar Johnson. Angry music! This person says, "Sir, we're more worried about that $5 million you raised for the Marcus Garvey School for Black Boys 10 years ago. that's still not open. Where is that money? Can I get a ooh sound effect? Yeah, Dr. Umar, like, you got to remember, bruh, you did take these people's money. So Dre Dream Spirit says, I have lost all respect for him. Stop the show. You should have been lost respect for him a long time ago. Got him. This person goes, sir, where the F is that school? Okay, let's look at this other comment. Sir, what happened to all those donations you was asking for? Stop the show. They're actually right, even though it's an ad hominem, because he's talking about all the money that's been misspent and used when Dr. Umar Johnson misuses and spends people's money, right? Trey says, why does he care? He doesn't even vote. Sassy J says, we are also crying about the money we gave you for the school that has been a forever building fund that you still pandering for. Touche. Can I get a ooh sound effect? He's only against Kamala because her husband is white. Until that school is up and running, he can't say a thing. Das at the artist says he's mad because y'all haven't built his school yet. That could be a good point. When Umar said don't vote at all, after so many fought for us to vote, he instantly lost me. This other person says, this is so dumb. That's like saying all the people who give money to cancer research have wasted money because a cure still hasn't been found. Who gave him money for his school that still isn't built? See, this world says I'm actually sick of him. Damn. Okay. Tammy goes, we crying because we deleted and blocked you, yet you still popping up on our timeline. We crying because we don't know why you think your opinion matters in the black community. We crying because we sick of you. So again, like, let me just get on this because Dr. Umar Johnson is, basically trolling him for crying about Kamala Harris and all of the money that the black community spends on what it wants to spend its money on, which this is something that we got to be realistic, guys. When we get mad that black people spend their money on whatever they want to spend their money on, if they wanted to spend their money on foundations and on investing to the community, the reality is they would do that or we would do that. It's not a priority for us, so then we don't. Okay, I think that needs to be the realistic situation. And what Dr. Umar wants is obviously the money to go to him so that he can misuse it because he wants to be the president of Black America in his delusional mind. But the reality is this: criticizing black women and their choices as a black man is often dangerous, and it leads to these side effects like roasting, blocking, getting cooked, and talked about, and your mama talked about at the same time. So Dr. Umar Johnson gets put on notice again. And for the most part, I don't even talk to black women followers. I don't really have that many. Stop the show. I mean, some of y'all want to kiss me and everything like that.
Stop the cap.
But yeah, you guys dealing with women and have female followers, it's okay until it's not okay. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shitty Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.